Played queens, bowed to queens, earned respect the hard way. Unlike those who fled the palace, spilled tell-alls, then begged invites back. Meghan, Poppet, victimhood Oscars. You'd sweep. Here, we just act. Next.
What happens when someone who's played queens for decades finally decides to call out the woman who married into the real monarchy? And what if that moment unfolds live in a ballroom packed with cameras, champagne, and A-listers who pretend nothing shocks them anymore? Those were the two questions everyone asked the morning after the 2026 Golden Globes. Well, everyone except Meghan Markle. She already knew. See, most award shows are predictable. Red carpet, jokes, speeches, a few awkward teleprompter flubs. But every few years there's a moment that feels so off-script and so surgical that you can practically hear the studio execs whispering, "We did not approve that." This was one of those nights. And the person holding the scalpel wasn't some hungry newcomer chasing viral relevance. It was Dame Helen Mirren. You don't boo her, you don't cancel her, you just listen. Because she's been Hollywood royalty longer than Meghan's been royal adjacent. Which is exactly why the room froze when she started with that deceptively charming line about queens. Played queens, bowed to queens, earned respect the hard way, and then swiveled toward Meghan like a sniper who'd been patient for years. And yeah, Twitter clipped it into memes within minutes, but in real time it landed like a courtroom verdict. Even calling Meghan Meghan Poppet as if she were some wind-up mascot for victimhood was bizarrely funny in the driest British way. If victimhood were an Oscar, she'd sweep. Mirren didn't just say it, she practically engraved it on a trophy with that polite venom only British women over 60 have mastered. Actors act, Meghan cries. Next. Now here's the kicker. The joke wasn't even the point. It was the context. That room is filled every year with power brokers who pretend to love everyone on stage, but behind the scenes they gossip harder than palace staffers. The second Mirren dropped that line, half the industry decided it was open season on Meghan's Hollywood reinvention tour, the one built on Spotify contracts, Netflix docu-monologues, and a curated narrative of poor me, royal life is exhausting. The best part? The cameras caught the exact split second between polite confusion and brutal understanding. Clooney smirked, Blanchett bit back a laugh, Oprah stiffened like someone just insulted the family dog, and Meryl, eternal queen of reaction shots, gave a tiny approving nod, the kind that says, "Someone had to say it." Meanwhile, younger actors at the back clapped like they'd been waiting for permission to roast the monarchy for years. That's Hollywood for you, messy solidarity and silent vendettas served with caviar. But if you think the ballroom was wild, the online war was feral. X and TikTok practically set themselves on fire. One camp yelled, "Finally!" The other shrieked, "Cancel the dame!" And somewhere in Montecito, Meghan's PR team probably stared at their crisis whiteboard, wondering which version of victimhood sells best in 2026, Hollywood or royal. Pause for a second, though, because this whole blow-up only works if you understand Helen Mirren's strange gravitational pull toward royalty. She didn't just act as queens, she respected them, she researched them. She's the only actress alive who can make a queen look both terrifying and relatable in the same scene. And unlike Meghan, she didn't marry her way into that reverence, she earned it with scripts thicker than phone books and workdays that didn't involve Spotify ad reads or Instagram empowerment quotes. There's this old interview from 2022 where Mirren called Meghan a wonderful modern addition to the monarchy. Back then, everyone thought Meghan was going to be Diana 2.0, charming, stylish, tragic, reformational. Then came the Oprah interview, then came Spare, then came the Netflix crying on couches montage, then came the $100 million deals where victimhood became content. Hollywood has a weird threshold for whining. Actors are allowed to be miserable. In fact, it helps with award season. But you can't complain and profit at the same time. Not publicly, not endlessly. The industry will listen to trauma once, maybe twice. After the third time, it's a brand. After the fourth, it's a franchise. By the fifth, it's a punchline. Which is why Mirren's jab hit like a dissertation disguised as a joke. It was the thesis statement of years of whispered frustration. Meghan fled the palace, aired the tea, monetized the trauma, and then allegedly begged her way back into elite events she claimed to disdain. Rumor has it, and Hollywood loves rumor more than film budgets, Meghan spent late 2025 trying to secure a presenter slot at the Globes. Not because she's an actress again, though the acting community ironically still debates that part, but because that's where buzz is minted. People who want to stay famous show up at award shows even when they're not nominated. Meghan wanted back in. The Globes allegedly told her no, politely, quietly, firmly. Mirren knew. She always knew. Now, if you're watching this rant thinking, dang, this is spicy, do me a tiny favor, hit the like button so the algorithm knows you're alive. And if you're new here, subscribe. We do messy celebrity geopolitics here, not financial advice. Anyway, back to the scene. What made the joke extra dangerous wasn't the jab, it was the implication. The idea that Meghan didn't just spill tea about the monarchy, she commodified it. And not in a cheeky podcast way, but in a Netflix royalties depend on whether we cry in episode 3 way. Even more interesting, Meghan's entire PR empire is built on the victim-to-victory pipeline. Hurt, heal, monetize, interview, repeat. It's great branding. It sells books. It books panels. It makes Oprah nod empathetically. But it collapses the second an old-school Hollywood titan calls it performance instead of pain. And Mirren saying, "We just act," might be the coldest line of the night. Because if actors act and Meghan profits off trauma, the question becomes, who's the real performer? The reaction videos online were hilarious. Royal watchers were basically drinking the moment like champagne. Sussex fans were meltdown posting 40 tweet threads about misogyny. Gen Z simply made memes comparing Meghan's acting in Suits to her acting in Spare, the docu-cinematic universe. But the silence from Meghan herself, that was the plot twist. No tweet, no Notes app essay, no Oprah 2.0, no sources close to the Duchess claiming hurt feelings, just nothing. And for Meghan, nothing is louder than everything. But here's where this story turns from gossip to anthropology. Hollywood and monarchy are both strange cults built on ritual, hierarchy, and pageantry. The monarchy demands discretion. Hollywood demands exposure. Meghan tried to do both at the same time, expose the monarchy while protecting her royal mystique, and it worked until it didn't. The palace tolerated the initial exit. The public tolerated the Oprah confessions. Hollywood tolerated the docu-series. But somewhere around Spare, the global audience realized this wasn't healing, this was hustling. And hustling is fine. This is America. We love a hustle. But hustles don't get you Globes invites unless you're funny or self-aware. Meghan is neither. Meanwhile, Mirren embodies the opposite ethos. Suffer privately, perform publicly, and never whine about the job even if the costume weighs 40 pounds and the filming location is an unheated castle in Scotland. There's this old reason old Hollywood respected queens. They didn't talk about trauma. They swallowed it, drank martinis, smoked cigarettes, and won awards. Unhealthy, absolutely. Effective, also yes. And when those two archetypes collide, the silent queen archetype versus the outspoken victim archetype, the audience will always choose whichever version feels less exhausting. Just checking in. If you're still here, comment below which camp you're in. Team Helen just said what we're all thinking, or Team Leave Meghan alone. No wrong answers, just vibes. Anyway, here's the final twist. Mirren didn't destroy Meghan with that joke. She revealed the gap between who Meghan thinks she is and how Hollywood actually sees her. Meghan thinks she's Diana meets Oprah. Hollywood sees her as the ex-actress who married into the wrong franchise and kept trying to reboot it after cancellation. And Meghan's real problem isn't Mirren, or the monarchy, or the media. It's fatigue. The audience is tired. Victimhood doesn't stay shiny. Trauma doesn't stay premium. At some point, people want a new plotline. Which brings us back to that warm Montecito silence. Is it surrender? Is it strategy? Or is it the first time Meghan genuinely has nothing left to say? Whatever it is, Dame Helen did what the palace never managed, and Hollywood never dared. She ended the storyline mid-arc. No finale, no cliffhanger, just next. Thanks for sticking around. Appreciate you being here.